small bar known as the Big Red Spot, which is on Jupiter Aleph 2, the second object out from the orbit of Jupiter Aleph. Looks like there's a person with a job at this location. Jimmy, what would be the short job ad wanted?
Help wanted, taking down a corrupt authority. Leave your morals at the door.
That pings up on your screen, Valentine, and you see that there's this option. Doesn't look like there's much else out there on the jobs board at the moment. And Jupiter Aleph is maybe a couple of light hours away from where you are at the speed that you're traveling. What do you do?
Jack, my boy, Jack. Jack.
Yeah, Valentine.
We have a job, my boy.
Job. How long? Oh, finally.
And guess what the job is, my boy?
Something about your tenants. Something you love.
Hey, no. Taking down a corrupt authority.
Oh, that's all you're about. That's all over you.
That is right.
I swear you've got on like a tattoo or something.
Don't make fun. We're obviously going to take this job. Yeah.
Did it say how much we get out of it?
It didn't. But what I get out of it
Oh, the satisfaction
is
of
the
the reward.
satisfaction
Oh,
of destroying a corrupt authority, my boy.
your daydreams are real high, mighty.
They have to be in a place such as this. Now, gather our dear friend Izakov. We have a place to go.
Isakov, we got work out here.
What you say?
Got work out here.
What type of
Have a
work?
job, my boy.
What is this job?
This job is
we-
taking down a corrupt authority.
Yep,
That seems
everything he wants.
very interesting.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, we don't have anything going on, and we gotta pay for the ship's kind of
Very
integrity.
agreed.
Proud Mary's holding together just enough, so
She's a good girl. Anyway, this job is not very descriptive. I don't know who sent this through, but I have a good feeling about this job, boy. I have a very good feeling.
Lady Lux turned her wet head the other way before. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, man. You know, things happen, but
The things are always happening. Keep
I have
up.
a good feeling about this one.
It's not gonna be like last time, is it?
Don't mention that. Don't bring that up.
Last time was a mess. Work, wasn't it?
Bad things happen, but bad things always happen. This is a bad galaxy, and we are here to change things and make them right.
Other side of the coin you are.
Valentine, you reach down, you tap into the navcom here on in the brig, in the bridge, and you start the process of making the ship, turning the ship slowly towards your destination. You've got a couple of hours to relax. You know where you're headed, so unless there's anything you specifically want to talk about, we can fast forward to your arrival here. Nice. So the Proud Mary coasts through. We see it arrive outside of. I mean, to call it a bar is probably to overstate it. In the background, in a huge, like taking up most of the picture, is Jupiter Aleph. And in front of it, on a small, I guess it may have been a moon, perhaps like a captured comet or something like that, kind of small space station that looks like it attaches to other places within this specific system. It's a high orbit docking station for the gas giant. It's a place where some of the largest ships come in to dock off. It is effectively, if you want to think of it, it's like a just outside the main town motel bar. Like, it's big. It's used to taking people who are traveling all across the galaxy, and it's used to taking people who've got jobs to do. This is, in short, your kind of place. The kind of place you find yourself in as the three all the time. The ship comes into dock, and you make your way out onto the station itself. The bar that you find yourself in, which makes up most of it, there's like some supply areas, but mostly, like, if they're bothering to put money and attention into life support here on this, it's so that you can relax and enjoy yourselves. The bar is lit in neon and mostly reds. After all, it is the big red spot. It's at this time kind of empty, but you can see behind the bar, just cleaning out some sort of weird-looking glasses, arrayed behind them, all kinds of bottles, some looking like traditional bottles from earthbound locations, and occasional sort of slightly more exotic-looking stuff. Is a human man, white, thick hair, pulled back into like not a ponytail, but like just pulled in tight behind his head and then allowed to kind of spread out a little bit. White, kind of bushy eyebrows, very wrinkled forehead, like dark eyes, small, scraggly kind of white beard, like white stubble. There's a man who's been working here a long time. He's seen a lot of things. You wouldn't recognize him. None of you would know this guy. But other than that, there only appear to be a couple of other patrons around the bar. Two people sat over to the corner. They look like they're involved in some kind of quarrel, perhaps a lover's tiff, and sat kind of awkwardly and furtively off to the corner, facing towards the door, keeping an eye out. You can see, well, Jimmy, what can they see?
They look over and they see a stunningly handsome, tall, lean, muscular figure. A large black leather duster falls to the ground, and they suck on a cigarette. A large scar pulls down over their eye. This person then moves out the way, and you see a pathetic, fat slob in a garish Hawaiian print pink shirt, who there is something about him, be it the fact that he is already sweating profusely in what appears to be quite a cold room, the faded, obvious service trousers that appear to be the only trousers he owns. He appears to have a gun holster, but there is no gun in it. He is surrounded by what looks like empty glasses, and between two hands, as he looks up and down at the door, clearly on edge, he has one with a large amount of murky brown liquid. He takes occasionally his hip flask out and puts a dram or so into it, and then sinks some more of this brown liquid.
You think that's the guy?
Hey, just if this is the guy, go up and do anything to him.
I mean, you think this man's got something for us? Like, have you seen him? Now. No.
We should not base our preconceived notions on appearances.
Have you seen his pants?
That's a pig!
Exactly. But you look old. So maybe don't judge on appearances. So, I'm going to then start like striding over, like spurs on my boots and like off-white kind of coat flowing behind me as I go and just like sit in front of you. Like, did you put a message out?
That depends.
We've got some very willing people. Same kind of parameters of what you may believe in.
I'm looking around, very kind of on edge, hunched shoulders. You weren't followed, were you?
I must say we just got off, so I don't think so.
And you thought it was wise to just wander in without checking?
I always check. And I'm called Never Miss Jack for a reason.
Never
Also
miss.
Iron Jack. Also Red Eye Jack, Trunk Jack, Iron Jack. I've got a lot. They call me a lot of things.
Easy
They
now.
call me a lot of things. A lot of reasons for that.
Well, Jack it is then. Again, still looking around. If someone had put a job out, I'm not too sure what exactly would that entail.
Well, we've got no moral qualms on us. You may say we dropped them at the door.
Okay then. You're the two you came in with. They're your...
Yeah. I'd say one of them's a little more eager than me, even. One of them, you see that one with the handy-looking weapon at his side? Big cannon kind of deal?
It looks ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. It can be, but you see how ridiculous it looks? It does a job.
Ridiculously effective, my boy.
You're yelling this across the room. You're hearing, ridiculously effective.
Why don't they come sit with you, huh?
Yeah. I'm and I usher them over to the table.
While you're doing that, roll me an observation check.
As I am, it's all in the details. Does that?
You have the upper hand, so yeah,
Okay.
roll with advantage.
So
roll the 3.
I roll 2, and then is this savvy or grit or muscle?
Ooh, this is gonna be.
Or 3.
We'll call this grit.
Oh, good.
This is your special. This is your kind of specialty.
Okay, yeah. So I'd get rid of the lowest one.
Yep.
9.
9. That's a pass. So you are a little on edge because of these strangers walking in and starting to talk about your business so out openly, so brazenly. And you're right to be so, because as you usher these over and like do another quick scan around the room, you do spot kind of loitering off towards the darkness. Looks like they're playing like an old-fashioned pinball machine, but they're not doing a very good job of it, and you sense that their attention isn't fully on the game that they're playing. They're kind of like just pressing the buttons, and you spot what appears to be a tall, well-dressed man, youngish, maybe in their early 20s. They have like a little kind of soul patch beard, and otherwise like short, floppy, dark hair. You don't know this person, but you recognize the type. You think that this is probably some kind of low-level mook for the Koryomi clan. The Koryomi are especially on your home world, on your home place, which is Jupiter Aleph 5. They are the dominant criminal faction. They got tendrils out all over the place. They got legal and illegal business practices. And it's not a surprise to find someone like that out here. It's exactly the kind of seedy, low-life place that you'd expect to find someone from their group hanging around. But it does flag your senses. And you can see that as your conversation with your colleagues, or your potential colleagues, happens out loud, there's a moment where, like, the head knocks over, and you see quite clearly, like, just on the top of the cheekbone, the little interlocking C's that mark out gang members, low-level gang members of the Koryomi clan.
Okay. So I notice this as I am nursing this brown liquid, and I will kind of stop the spiel somewhat, and loudly, I'm really not sure what you lot are looking for. I think I'm gonna nip out for a cigarette, if you don't mind. You gents have some kind of crazy ideas. And I will glare at them and take the last bit of brown liquid, finish it off in one, and then start towards the door.
If any of you would like to, you can roll a... let's roll like a kind of insight-based, like, who is this? What's going on here? This is a bit weird. Like, just started the conversation, this guy's heading out. So, like, roll that. Unless any of you have a reason, it's going to be a savvy roll. So unless any of you have a reason to get advantage on this, you're just going to be rolling it flat.
No.
10.
I got a 5 on that.
5?
2 ones.
You two, you've been doing all the talking, and you've, like, it's a bit rude. Like, you were just in this conversation, you was like, it was all of this thing. Izakov, your attention suddenly, like, you've not been paying it. Your colleagues are doing all the chat as usual, like all this stuff, filling the noise, and you've been keeping quiet, just waiting. And so you spot what he's doing before he heads off. You see that moment where he looks over, clocks this guy who turns, and then, like, this sudden change in behavior. You sense what he's trying to telegraph, which is he doesn't want to he wants to continue this conversation, but he doesn't want to continue it here. He wants to get out of this bar and head somewhere safer. The only safe place that you can think of is the Proud Mary.
The what?
The Proud Mary, your ship.
I think he doesn't feel comfortable in this environment. I think he was
he's rude.
staring off at someone that the sun changed kind of. I don't think he thinks the person over there is. He doesn't like that person.
Sir, I'm just gonna yell, like, after them, like, sorry for wasting your time there.
I haven't actually given my name, have I?
We don't know it yet.
You won't know until I give it. The pathetic individual you see walks off and gives you a kind of a, without turning, gives you a kind of like a acknowledgement, and then he puts both of his hands into his pockets, deep into his pockets, and he continues to walk towards the door.
Just gonna give a nod to, like, both of them. And start making my way out slower, dejected almost.
Yeah. Anyone apart from you actually will have the two of you roll me an observation check.
Are you saying both of us or just
Yeah, both of you.
Is that?
And it's going to be a savvy roll this time.
8.
I have got a 11.
Nice. Both of you notice as as Jack starts to follow out behind this guy, that the dude whose attention had been drawn, he's like paid a cursory bit of attention to what's going on here, and then you can see his attention's gone back onto the game. Seems as though whilst he's here waiting for something to happen, and at this stage doesn't feel like anything has happened. So you're not being followed, but whoever it is you're trying to meet, this guy, whatever it is he wants, he doesn't want to do it for this person around. But it looks as though this person's not about to follow you, so you're safe. You follow after. Where do you head?
Do you think it's fair to say that my character has seen this? Is this port small enough that he's seen a new ship come in?
Oh yeah. You from the moment you put out the call on the board, you have been paying attention to the arrival of new ships, paying attention, like the neurotic side of it, like kicked in, and you are like, is this the person? You want to know who is coming in and why they're coming in, and you're hoping. So yeah, you know that these guys have arrived. They've come straight here, and this is, from your understanding of the ship details that are available publicly, this is exactly the kind of ship that would carry the kind of people that would do the kind of job that you want done.
So then I will make my way quite hurriedly. I'm not waiting for them behind me. I will make my way to their ship. I'm not a particularly fit person, so they might actually beat me there. Might be that thing where you're like walking behind someone and you're walking quicker, but you don't want to pass them because then you have to walk faster. Only I'm the slow one, and they're like, well, we've got to see where he goes.
I probably saw them just like slowed my walks about even more, so I'm basically just like
looking around. My character sees this and feels somewhat patronised, I would imagine, but it's just profusely sweating, makes their way to the foot of this kind of cursive Proud Mary, and will kind of lean up against the landing gear, waiting for them to arrive.
Nice. You make your way to where your ship is docked and find this guy waiting for you by the doors.
So, yeah, it seems like you're in a comfortable position to talk now. Does it seem like that?
I think I would be more comfortable inside.
First thing said, a name would be quite nice.
Yeah, we don't let random people fly here ship.
Given you mine.
You gave me many of yours. I will give you. Yes, indeed, Jack. I will give you both of mine. Harry Martinez. And you see as Harry stands without the arm, stands in a form that is very evocative of a salute, standing to attention. Harry Martinez. Now, if you please, it's awful cold out here tonight. You see as I am dripping with sweat.
Yeah, can see. Cold. It's a cold sweat out here.
Yeah, it is.
Just gonna then open the ship, kind of like.
You make your way inside. It is a simple, fairly. There's some interesting objects in here. This is obviously home for these three individuals, and probably like an awkward. It's like there's three chairs that are obviously the three chairs that these guys sit in, and then there's like some things that you could sit on that have just had like stuff piled up on top of them.
Pull up a chair. The chair I would sit in. Like, I'm just gonna stand. Like, don't judge the house. Don't get many people.
I thank you, Squire. It's very polite of you. I will sit down and kind of. It's kind of like a. Did I hear it was like a wingback type thing?
Sure.
On like a spaceship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's very. Thank you, Squire. So, if you plan on killing me, I assume you probably would have not taken me into your house to do it. So, I think it's probably fair to assume that you guys are.
Wouldn't want to get blood on the floor.
Exactly. If you were going to shiv me, I presume you would have done it at the foot of this here ship. So I think you are, at the very least, interested in my proposition.
Say that.
Decent folks.
Did you not read the offer?
We did.
I'm not looking for decent folks.
Yeah.
Oh, but I am the most decent folk there is, my friend.
Listen, he's got everything you want. You just gotta, hold up. He wants everything against the kind of authority you've got. So,
as a former member of authority, appearingly,
Yeah.
he looks very much like a cop.
don't worry, he doesn't bite.
Yeah, well, walking contradictions. So, the job I have. I won't bore you with my life story, but there is a corrupt police force.
When is there not?
I would like to think, quite indignantly, Harry will return, I would like to think that there are still some decent folk
Decent
out there.
folk don't mean whole forces ain't bad. But you just get the odd good one in there.
Well, when I say all corrupt, I mean this isn't a case of a bad apple spoiling the bunch. They are, to a man, needing of pruning, let's say. They need exposing to the sunlight. And I can't do it on my own. I need some help. But that help might involve getting your hands a little dirty.
Dirtied over time.
Well,
Haven't had time to wash.
Oh,
I wear like a suit of like kind of metal plating, kind of like it gets hard to clean. I mean it also metaphorically. I wash. You take good standards in your kit.
duly noted, my metal friend. So how about it?
if you intend to bring these fellas to the sun, we are just a ray of sunlight, my friend.
See, we stuck to a metaphor. Alright. So
Now, what actually are we doing, though?
Ditos.
You look at Harry, and he appears to be very much deer in the headlights. You say, "What are we doing?" and he just,
Yo, buddy?
well,
You're more of an improv man, aren't you?
well, I mean, we're taking out a
Scripts
corrupt.
ain't your thing.
No, well, we're taking out a police force. What's the?
You don't just mean to go in there and kill them all.
Well, of course not. That seems
As well as it
ludicrous.
just, it makes them seem like martyrs, good guys, even. That's
well,
not what you
We're on the
want.
same page.
Okay, so part of it is that I was looking for other people because I'm maybe not the best one to plan things. So if you've maybe got some strategies, that would be very much useful. I would like to think I can pay quite well. How about it?
I think maybe I think we could blackmail them. Like maybe possible
This-
ideas.
These worlds?
We are trying to expose the police as corrupt, bring them to justice, so to speak. I don't think that partaking in bribery is maybe the best way to indicate. I suppose we might be able to show our records, but then it seems to be a bit muddled.
So,
Do you have a specific section? I don't suppose you mean like the entire police.
Well, a specific branch, yes. It would happen to be my former branch. I was an officer of the law.
Hence the pants.
Oh, I put them on today.
thankfully.
Well, yes. Hence the service trousers, Jupiter Aleth's finest. Unfortunately, they took the shirts off of me when I was.
Not fair, right?
I don't think we need to talk about this.
Yeah, keep passing the pairs. Got that. You've got to move ahead.
So it would be a specific unit. Yes, I have certain ideas that might help us bring them to some sort of justice. But I'll be honest, I've never been the brains of the operation. I've never really been much of anything of the opera.
I'm sure you've got skills.
I'd like to think so.
Would you like to roll to see what Harry knows?
I would.
Okay, let's go with a savvy,
He is not savvy.
and I'm gonna play with the system a little bit here because I want to be able to give you a little bit of information. So we're going to do this as we're going to roll it against the odds, so disadvantage on your savvy, and rather than this being a straight pass fail, I'm going to decide how much information you know based on how well you do on this roll.
Okay then. So nothing to add. My savvy is 0, but that will be 10.
Wonderful.
2 5s.
Oh, nice, great. Well, that's a pass no matter what. So, here's what you know. Jupiter LF5, the main habitable location for the Jupiter Aleph system of what goes on here. The city itself is a relatively prosperous metropolis. It's focused mainly around resource extraction from the nearby gas giant of Jupiter Aleph. However, the city itself lives under a somewhat vice-like grip. Life for the citizens there is closer to a mafia state than it is to a free society. Most of the people who live there are employees of GBU Heavy Isotope, who are the extraction organization, a massive intergalactic resource extraction, purification and refinement firm. Like many of the habitable worlds and areas of the galaxy, their fingers are fairly deep into the pie, but they don't really care about the people, and they leave the day-to-day management of their workforce to one of two organizations, either to a semi-autonomous police force, usually funded through a basic form of very low taxation, or to the free market. Those who can and will take the power and the control and do what they're told sometimes, when they're told to sometimes. The main, this is what you know specifically, all of that information is knowledge that can be easily gained from the ship's computers and from the various different types of scanner that you have available to you on board the Proud Mary. Harry, what you know is that the Koryomi clan, of whom you've met one of their members, have been creeping their way into the power structures for about the last 15, 16 years. Their fingers extend more deeply into the criminal underworld, however, and have done for a generation or more. They are the people mostly involved in protection, enforcement, and, for want of a better word, justice on Jupiter Aleph 5. However, they're mostly focused on their own preservation. The patriarch of the Koryomi group, a man called Caliban Koryomi, is getting old. Very old. Losing power and losing control. And his 2 children are engaged in a squabble over who gets to succeed him when he dies, and maybe even who gets to make sure of it. There is a small crack in what otherwise would have been an impenetrable force field as a result of this power struggle between the three of them. And as a result, a system that has been the same for quite a long time has suddenly changed. And that is where you come in. For the only other thing that I think would be useful to tell you is that you work for Jasper, as it is nicknamed, which is Jupiter Aleph 5 Police Authority, JA5PA. Do you have a follow-up question that you would like an answer to? As you rolled a 10, so you did pretty well.
It's more of a clarifying. So I'd understand that the corruption that I know of in this semi-autonomous police force, that is controlled or provided that corruption comes from the Koryomis.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, perhaps at one point the police authority was autonomous to the clan, but that hasn't been the case for a long time.
Okay. Does Harry know, is the Koryomi pretty much the monolith of the crime syndicate, or are they just the biggest of a group of crime syndicates?
Roll me a savvy check.
Just straight?
Just straight.
9.
Nice. They are a big fish in a not very big pond. You know that they have a little bit of outreach beyond this system. And you know that they not only have their fingers in the criminal underworld on these systems, but that they have increasingly put out feelers into legitimate business off-world. To them, and to you and your knowledge and your experience here on Jupiter Aleph 5, they are the big dog. If this is the most important place in the universe.
Okay. I think that's very useful. And I think Harry now actually might have a plan rather than just deer in the headlights.
Everybody else, the Proud Mary team. You've got your warrant scanner, which allowed you to find the job. You also have your planetary scanner and your authority scanner. If any of you want to use any of those whilst you're here, away from the main surface of the location, to find out anything else about the city, or to find out about what's going on, or what might be happening within the authorities and the police here, now would be the time to do so. We will do that. I won't make you roll for anything, because I don't think there's anything to worry about, but what I would do is ask if any of you have any questions that you think you might be able to answer by checking on your planetary scanner, which allows you to check like layouts, demographics, economic status, things like that, who the big players are, or whether you want to find out anything by scanning the police frequencies and finding out what's going on there.
Yeah, I'd like just to have a look over the authority one to see like what's being. So is it like, does it tell you what recent crimes have been reported? Yeah, I'd then like to see kind of what kind of crimes are they capturing.
Nice. So mostly you can see that there's a lot of low-level crime stuff that just fills the feed. It seems as though there are plenty of people here on Jupiter LF5 who live below the poverty line, and they seem to be fairly brutally controlled and kept in line by, like, you can see there's lots of the equivalent of like antisocial behavior orders. Like, this person was in the wrong place at the wrong time, they're in a place they shouldn't be, and they've been sent back to where they should be. In between those, you can see that there are the occasional like violent crimes that have broken out occasionally, and it does look like there is a few infractions that people are putting up for. It looks like they've been cracking down pretty hard on a small group of people for what they're calling computer surveillance behaviours. Looks like they've got a hacking problem and they're trying to put it under wraps. What you do notice against this background of all of this stuff that you see is what's not there.
Yeah.
There's not any gang-related activity. There's not any burglaries, break-ins, that kind of level of activity that you would expect on a planet which had a very active gang or set of gangs. Looks like none of that stuff's being reported.
Yeah, it's all being hidden. As well as, yeah, I assume that like when you go through like if they tell you who's crime committed, it's not going to be anything related to like gangs at all.
No, the name Koryomi doesn't appear anywhere on any of these call-in reports. Absolutely not. Isakov, Valentine, anything you're hoping to find out by looking at either of the scanner systems?
Valentine would like to have a little look at the structural integrity of the place they're going to infiltrate and see what's the deal with it. Are there any viable entryways and viable exit ways? And numbers of people on guard at different times, that kind of thing.
Specifically around the police authority or just across the whole of the system?
I think just the police authority for now.
Cool. So what you can see from the planetary scanner is that Jupiter LF5 is probably a small moon, maybe. Certainly a very large comet or meteor body. Into it, and like, it's built up over time. As with all of these kind of mining operations, initially this was just a mining outpost. A few ships, they kind of glommed onto bodies that were already there, and slowly over time they kind of melded in and infused their way into the structures of the rocks that make up this area. Around that, and then built out over time, you can see that there are like the effectively like space station style build outs. So there isn't like there's no observable atmosphere on the planet or the moon, and everything that makes up this place is all constructed and added together. It probably supports a population of about 100 to 150,000 people, which, given the size of the actual body, it means that they all live fairly close-knit, fairly on top of each other. It's effectively an orbital large planetary spacecraft rather than a planet in its own right. You can see it has with that kind of number of people, it has a small police force, probably around that authority area, probably numbering a few hundred total. the police authority, let's call it Jasper. Jasper headquarters is, it looks like, embedded into one of the original mining ships that came here in the early expansion and has like crunched into the rock, and kind of they've built up around it. It looks as though, so it's not a building per se, it's more like a spaceship that has been over time turned into a kind of working building, for want of a better word. Those are... You've not done many jobs on a place like this, but you've all been to one. Whether it's hopping from place to place, you know, you're not in the upper crust here. You're not in the richest people, but you are amongst people who have a bit more luxury than you're used to. What I will also say, I know you're focusing in mostly on the police authority, and I'll come back to like the specifics you asked in a moment, is that it is quite clear also that this is a society with a real strata of like a few people living it up large at the top, and then a lot of people below the breadline. And you see that there is a location, you know it well, Harry, which is known as the Exhausts, which is off towards where the space dock for the large mining, like basically the gas extraction super tankers that come and do the main amount of work on behalf of GBU heavy isotope. And it looks like from your scanner of like checking in, like all the lights pinging of like where people are congregated, the majority of the people who live here on Jupiter Aleph 5 seem to live in this area that's kind of clustered around what must be dirty, grimy, noisy, and probably fairly unpleasant, like dangerous territory to live. The police headquarters itself, your scanner won't penetrate inside, but you can see that there are a number of people stationed outside. They have like carts, like police carts that allow them to make their way around the various locations. They look fairly well kitted out in terms of like equipment that they have access to, and that's all that you would pick up with a planetary scanner. Isakov, do you have any questions that might pertain to either of these things?
Currently, no.
Fair enough. So yeah, that's what you know about the world and what you've got to do. That's what you know about what's going on. And that's what you know about what's happening here.
Can I confide in them this information, what my vague plan is, and see if I can get their thoughts? Okay, so I go through, without repeating Alex again, you now know the majority of this, and Harry then says, so, the plan, as it were, is we need to cut the head off the snake. A real, how do they call it, a coup of grace.
Coup de grace.
Bless you.
Thank you.
We need to get Patriarch Koryomi, his two little rats, and the chief of police. We need to nail them in one place, because that is where we will find all the information we need to discredit our police, and the resulting power vacuum will tear the Koryomis apart. It's not going to be pretty, and I feel for the people, my people, on Jupiter Aleph 5, but nothing's changing unless that old individual is gone. What do you think, friends?
Certainly not
I think
telling
we should
anyone
kill her.
about what they know. So, yeah, nailing them down. Well, we probably have to confide what they do know at some points, or with what's coming on, they'll probably all get together at some point naturally. But hopefully, we can orchestrate some way.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know that they would necessarily meet.
Yeah.
The two little rats are at each other's throat. I think the reason why I put this out is, one, a bit of extra muscle is always useful, but I was kind of hoping that maybe some of you might know of a way that we could force them to meet.
I'm gonna bring an idea here. I think we should kidnap them each separately and then bring them all together. Like,
Yeah.
we don't give them identities. Like, we could wear fake masks. Like, go on with that idea, maybe.
It's possible. I don't know that we...
Tearing them apart, they're at each other's throats. What better way to get someone off your hands than getting each of them at each other's throats?
Well,
Potentially.
this is what I wanted to put out. I'm at a loss to find a way we can bring these people together. There is a shaky alliance between police, Patriarch Koryomi and his two kids. The two kids are pushing those boundaries. All we need to do is find a way to bring them together, and that'll light the match.
Valentine, you got any ideas?
Now, I do like that plan. Yes, I do.
This-
And I do like that idea, getting the two of them. And what better way to do that than to get them at their throats, like you said? And I think, do you know a place? Both of them, they need. Do they need this place? A specific place that they both need.
Well, they want the place behind the gilded desk of the mansion of Patriarch Caliban Koryomi. That is a way to get three of them together. If we can find a way to convince them that it's theirs, or there is an opportunity for them to take it, perhaps.
Getting though to the desk itself could prove a problem. It's what I found. It's been some hacking problems they've got. Maybe get something from the police chief there and send a little maybe message that it's where something is for you.
Yeah. If we had some kind of some hacker, a kind of a ghost in the shell, if you would, that would be really useful.
Yeah, to get into the Matrix. Well, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got some problems down there. Maybe try and locate some.
That is a brilliant idea, my friend. We get the information from them. Whatever we need, we're halfway there. It's good. And then we just need to cause a whole lot of commotion. Kill these people.
A big debacle. Real big.
Now, these people concerned. I very much appreciate the need for a debacle, but the people of Jupiter Aleph 5 are my people. I said leave your morals at the door, but I would prefer if we weren't gunning for decent, hard-working, oppressed people.
Don't worry. A debacle with only those involved. Only the parties invited to the real party get what's coming to them.
Right. Well, how do we get in touch with our computer-minded friends then?
There are two things that you know. One is a piece of common knowledge, and the other I'm going to get you to roll for.
Okay.
The common knowledge is that if you are looking for the place with the big shiny desk, that is going to be in Godhead Plaza, which is probably like the big skyscraper space, all steel and glass.
Humbly named.
Very humbly named. Yeah, I mean, it looks up on Jupiter. It has to be. It's where the upper echelons live. You were invited there once,
Okay.
but you've never been. and I'm going to get you to roll. Let's call this one. We're going to go grit on this one.
Oh, thank God.
It's and we're going to do this. We're going to go back in time. So I'm going to say this is an observation check from the past. Observation grit check.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9. If they've got a hacking problem, then the person that's most likely, in your experience, to be behind that is a guy that you've come across a couple of times. His name's Ulysses, also known as the Eye. And he's a bit of a tech whiz, and you know that he has former connections directly into the clan. You haven't seen him for a while, but you're pretty sure if you were going to hunt him out, the place to look for him is in the exhausts.
Okay. So we need to find our hacker man. I think I know just the type. A Ulysses or the Eye. Again, who chooses these names? If we're going to find him anywhere, we'll find him in the exhausts, which just so happens to be my former beat. So I think we'll have a bit of an easy job. They kind of like me down there.
Well. You're useful after all. You may be a pig dressed in pink, but you're all right.
Thank you, friend.
Closes your gear.
Izakov, you've been quiet and watching all of this. You had your idea of the kidnap. What's your take on your patron here?
My first idea was the kidnapping. Then, I forgot your name even.
They call me many names.
Jack.
You fell for
Jack.
We've only got 2.5 hours.
Jack. Until Jack stole my idea of trying hacking, getting a hacking friend. So I think that would be a good idea. If that doesn't work, I think we should maybe go with the kidnapping idea.
And do you trust him? What's going on in the background? What are you thinking about? What are you mulling over? This is not information that everybody else gets to hear. This is just like what's going on in your brain. It's just
They can't read it.
Think like, maybe it could be a trap, or kind of like he's kind of, I guess, a rat trying to catch people out of being trying to work against the police force, should one say.
Nice. Okay, good to know. These things are important. Cool. What's going through Valentine's mind?
The fires of fury have been ignited by the notion of these poor innocent folks subjugated to work by the evil Koryomi clan. All reason has left his mind, and he just wants to see these people burn. He is fully on board with our good friend Harry here, and he wants to see these people taken down.
Do you feel like Valentine's found a faithful friend?
I feel like he's found someone with the similar morals as he does. They don't like to see the innocent subjugated, put into any kind of harm, and they don't like the big dogs.
Make a note, for now, that you think you've found a faithful friend, and add a blues.
Ooh.
What's going through Jack's mind?
If Valentine's kind of with all fire, Jack's in his one, he's like there with the bucket of water. He's the one kind of on and just like, he's used to being alone, he's used to like, those near haven't been always the best, like with hands, but if this is what Valentine's kind of, this would like what Valentine would want, and he's known Valentine for a while. Stay with it. As well as this person hasn't given any real reason not to trust yet. They've given the job. They've kind of been clear on what they want. They've been smart about what they've been doing. So they seem like someone to just like keep, like, you know, you're working together. Be kind of business minded about it. So.
And does this ring any bells? Anything about this ring any bells with the reasons and the choices that you made that pushed you into the life that you're living?
Jack's probably got their hand on their heart, where they have a photograph kind of there, and they just like looking at kind of the scene. It's all kind of bringing back to the early days when they were like a bounty hunter. And working with people a lot more professional, a lot more experienced, and ended up with nowhere to call home. But trying to swim out of it, trying to keep it all down.
Is that what you've left behind? Certainty, like a sense of knowing what you're doing?
Certainty of what will come tomorrow, what came yesterday, and what is happening today with those you can love and trust. All of that was gone. That is gone, and it's been a long time that it's gone.
Cool. Make a note of that. That is what you left behind. And add a blues.
I'm on 8 blues.
You are on 8 blues, which means that you are now
Sad.
Depressed.
very
Flickering
sad.
depression.
What that means is that trouble's brewing.
Oh god.
When trouble is brewing, you try to assuage your blues. And you're going to confront the source of your trouble at some point soon. And that could be the sense of, like, certainty that you just had, or it could be something to do with one of the other questions that you answered when we were doing your troubles, about, like, what you were forced to leave behind. But what it means is that you are going to seek a confrontation. Could be with one of the people around the table. Could be with someone that you come up against whilst you're out in the exhausts dealing with this. Could be violent. Could be verbal. But you could have a bit of a depressive episode. Could have a bit of a manic episode. You're not fully in control of the choices that you are making right now because something's bubbling away. Something's bubbling away in your stomach, in your heart, and in your head. You might indulge a vice, or you might just simply wallow in being sad for a while. So, for any of the scene where we are in the exhausts and you are meeting with this potential lead, you can use your exertion, which is allows you to re-roll your d6s, and instead of spending heart, you can use the blues that you have available to do so. If you get into a fight, you will take half damage whilst your troubles are brewing. Once we get to the end of that scene, your blues will reset, and you will increase a stat by 1 and get all of your heart back. So that's what's coming up for Jack as we head down onto Jupiter Aleph 5. Trouble's brewing, everybody. But you don't know it yet. You don't know it. You just see it in his eyes. There's something there. Jack's got
like a red visor on it. It's just like
got an X-Men
wetter,
like an anime sweat drop kind of
It's like a metal like
Tokyo
mask with the
Ghoul.
red kind of like visor, and it's just like yeah, just like it goes a darker shade. That's what happens.
Emotional control.
They pull their hat down as well.
Amazing. So yeah, and that's the thing to remember, just to remind you, new system, everybody. Like, rules are a thing, but they're also, the great thing about this is it's quite rules light. but I'm making it perhaps a little lighter than it actually is in the book. You can use exertion, which allows you to reroll one of your d6s
Is this
on
to
a check.
everyone, or is it just to
All of you at any time. But it costs you a heart to do it.
Oh, is it
So
like taking your life away?
it takes a little bit of your health away to,
I've only got
to
one of
dig
those.
deep. You have more than one heart. Well,
But life.
Jesus.
Oh,
heart.
Medical marvel.
Is there any more information that you guys want to gather before you head off, or is it now about getting down onto the space station?
I would
finding out.
like to say something to you, James. You sit in my chair. Don't. To my chair.
I sat in the chair that your friend here pulled up for me.
It's a warning.
Okay.
Let's just get this over with. Just. Right.
Sweet. So, are you gonna take any equipment with you off the ship, or are you?
We have our guns on us at all times.
Oh, you have all of your personal equipment. You have at all time. The only thing which you probably don't know that you have, because it was rolled before you guys, or rather after you made your decision. You do have in a locker here 2 EMP grenades.
Was that all of us, or was that individual?
Between as a group resource, you have 2 EMP grenades that you've kept in a locker.
But we do not know. Like memory loss, can you?
Say again?
We forgot we've put them there. So like we
I know. You can.
I remember.
Oh,
I'd
you
written
know.
them down on my sheet. I was going to pop 2 at once.
Well, so each of you rolled for crew equipment, and the 3 of you got the scanners, and then when I rolled with Jimmy, he rolled and gained grenades that you didn't know about. So
We got scanners. He got grenades.
Yeah.
As you can see.
So we've got
I
an
think.
automatic weapon, and now we've got EMP grenades. Okay.
Well, we don't have to bring them.
You don't. No, you can leave them here. But if you find that you need them,
I think we need them.
you will have to come back here.
these
to
are
get
called-
them.
I
You
see no
want- you
reason
want-
why we should leave.
You can bring a grenade you want. It's on you if you lose it.
I'll take an EMP grenade. I'm being careful.
Child on Christmas.
We're going to see an hacking friend. I don't trust this.
Child on Christmas.
I'm guessing we look down at this huge pile of scanner tech that's like wall to ceiling, and then there's 2 quite diminutive looking grenades, and we're just like, that looks really heavy. Do we?
Wait, are these hand
Yeah.
ones? Or are they just like?
I thought I had 2 on me at the start.
Yeah, they're like a big handful, and they
Okay.
pull like a normal grenade.
They've
but
got the lever thing.
yeah,
Cool.
there's a little bit of a lever, but they don't explode. They just charge up,
Electric shock.
and they light up. All the panels on it light up until they've all lit up, and then it goes off and knocks out electromagnetic equipment.
I'm gonna take 1 EMP grenade.
Write that down on your character
As it
sheet.
gets
Done.
heavier.
I'll take the other one.
Cool.
Oh,
Cool. I'll just turn that from 2 to 1.
I think if I was in it, my suit would just get heavier.
What you know, Harry, seeing them there, just sat there on top of this pile of quite important technical equipment, you know that these things are super illegal.
The scanners.
No,
The
all
grenades.
the scanners are perfectly legitimate. It's maybe the police scanner, the authority scanner is you're a bit you shouldn't have that.
Police should maybe have that, but maybe not a civilian.
Yeah.
We're not civilians.
But you would
Stole it.
this wouldn't be the first ragtag group of vigilantes to have access to a scanner channel. These 2 EMP grenades, which they are interestingly storing on top of things that they would destroy, are highly illegal. Both not just to use, but just to own them.
Okay.
They are outlawed across the galaxy.
Damn,
That sounds.
we're gangsters now.
But we have still. I don't remember buying it. I just remember Izakov coming back with some.
They
I
came
don't see
free with the
anyone stopping
ship.
us.
They temporarily disable all electronics nearby for a number of rounds.
Okay.
All electronics.
Your visor's coming off, mate.
And if used incorrectly, could shut down a ship or possibly even a whole space station.
Wowzers.
Yeah,
No.
including life support.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Instant death.
Hence them being
Illegal.
Very illegal.
Cool, good. Well,
love ending con
apparently
flies.
Harry has already taken it, so he's willing
Listen.
to roll with the punches.
You just need to become the law, right? You have to be the law. Yeah.
Oh, I dread becoming that kind of judge.
Listen, I don't.
jury
I
and
won't judge you.
executioner.
We can make.
So, what was that time? Okay, you head down to Jupiter Aleph 5. From where you are, you dock up on the secondary place, leave the ship where it is. There are small shuttle vehicles that can take you down to the surface and off to the fifth body that makes their way around Jupiter. They wouldn't let your large ship so close to it. It spoils the view. So you take a small kind of taxi-like ship that takes you down towards the metropolis. As you come down, you can see the shining metal and bulkheads and the glass, like incredibly thick protective glass sections that make out that this is obviously a place of money and power. Like, why would you put windows in space unless you really wanted to show off? They are incredibly dangerous. You see what you point out to them, the Godhead Plaza, fixed static place in the fixed orbit, so that it's always looking up at the swirling gases of Jupiter Aleph, like the colours of the planet above fill the sky. And then the ship comes in and kind of moves around past and comes to a stop closer to where you see these 2 or 3 huge kind of gas canister style ships. You can see that one of them is emblazoned with GBU heavy isotope on the side of it, and it is fully compact. Like, the whole thing is about like 90% gas canister with a little bit of metalwork that holds it all together, and then some giant thrusters at the back and a tiny operational module towards the tip of it. You can also see that another one is just the canisters, again emblazoned in the GBU logos, and there appears to be like a third one that's again just canisters, slightly different layout, slightly different setup. Probably looks like it belongs to a different multinational conglomerate. This is a place where that happens. Arrayed out around where those are parked up is this kind of shanty town, for want of a better word, but hard to explain what a shanty town looks like in space when there isn't like atmosphere. Let's just say it's like a conglomeration of like bits of ship and bits of salvage and bits of scavenger and bits of all of these things that people can live within and about and around. Never quite a full version of anything. You can see that there's lots of like ducting and trunking, that there's a lot of the kind of things that would go out from airlock to airlock that have been like wrapped around to create strange tunnels. It's obviously been industriously put together by people who know what they're doing from an engineering perspective, but don't have access to a huge amount of stuff. They have been inventive and ingenious in the way that they have put these things together. And it is a marked difference from the sleek, shiny, corporate ship landscape that you came over before you landed. The ship that you are on comes in, docks up beside one of these longer tubes that extends out and into the airlock. and you hear the hiss as atmospheric pressure is created, and the driver of this ship waits for payment and then opens up to let you out into the exhausts. Beyond, you see that there is no straight lines. This isn't stepping out into a marketplace. This is stepping out into a place of all kinds of intersections and jumbles and coming togethers. Tunnels head off, seem to end. There are doors and ports. There are holes. There are gaps. There's gravity, so things do settle down, but you can see that some people are crawling down using gravity and swinging down out of vents that head up above your head. Some things come from the side. You see that people here are by and large shaken down. They look glum. They look beaten up. They look like water is probably not something that they get much access to, and when they do, it's not used for washing their bodies or for washing their clothes. You can see here what appears to be, poverty. You've seen poverty before. You see it on a number of the planets you've been to where you've done jobs. But you've never seen it this close to such glamour and glitz. Everything around you is dirty, greasy. You can see it's made from repatched space kit. You can see stuff's been torn down, rebuilt. You can see everything has that sense of it being cast off, thrown away, and then found new purpose. Harry, you know the code of the exhausts is that you can get anything for a price, and you can get everything for the right price.
Okay. Was this at some point my beat?
Very much so.
Good. I step off the ship and inhale the rank and horrible scent of the exhaust, and I break out into a smile. My posture improves, and some part of Harry returns to the beat cop. There is an authority that is not normally present in how he stands. He feels very much at ease here. And he begins to gently walk down the gangway into kind of the exhaust proper. He has an ultimate goal about where he's looking to get his information, but for now he's just walking down the street, maybe looking at various passers-by, seeing if any of his comrades are interested perhaps, or if they just want to get straight to where we're going.
What about you guys? How are you reacting to this circumstance, these people, this place?
Just gonna lean down to Valentine. I can't smell. Emphasis smell.
This is horrendous. Look at all these
Oh, it smells of
honest
pork.
folks being forced to live in such poverty by people that do not care about them. This is horrendous. On the other hand, look at you. You're certainly.
Look at that stride.
I like it, brother.
This is, I think it's fair to say, this is where I am at my most comfortable. These people know me. They understand me. They're my people. I think we'll go far here.
Yeah, I mean, you know this place so well. You step back in here, you inhale that smell, and you're like, Skimmer Sam, he's got some new oils. You can smell it in the air. like one of the local food vendors has had a chance to clean up their chip fat recently, and you know this so well you can smell the difference.
I think we are in need of some information.
Yep.
Unless you guys are looking for something else, I say we head to an entirely above board establishment.
Is this where our man is? I just get this.
Unless you have any other ways of finding out, it will most likely, unless we are exceedingly fortunate, it will not be where our friend is. It is merely Harry is obviously trying very hard to be secret and is not very good at that.
Pass in when it said about computer surveillance problems, it didn't directly mention this person.
Then that name didn't appear, but those two things definitely play together. Roll me what are we going to call this? We're going to call this it's going to be savvy related, I think, to find out, to see exactly how deep you dug into the authority scanner.
That's a good roll. That's a 12.
Yeah, you got
12.
one today.
Amazing. You paid enough attention to see that there was, in collaboration with using the planetary scanner, that there were all of these incidents have been called in from a similar kind of location, and all of them seemed to be noted at or around a place that they were calling vultures.
Does vultures, I'm assuming not the bird, mean anything to you?
I was thinking I would know a place, some kind of speakeasy, where there would be someone who I might know, basically who I probably would have tried to arrest in the past, who I'm now going to go to. Would it be fair to say that there is an establishment either named or nicknamed Vultures? I'd say kind of, aloof. Oh, and why ever would you say that? Vultures is a fine and upstanding establishment.
Just like unseen eyes pierce through you. It's like, yeah, real upstanding with such a high class name. Listen, just take us to it.
Yeah, all right. I'm trying to be a bit on the old incognito side.
Yeah.
Doesn't help with you yelling vultures, right?
And just talk loud. You're putting on a show.
Right. All right. Well, unless let's not dawdle then, shall we? Let's get moving.
Cool. You crawl through crawl spaces, tubes, various different bits. Occasionally it's across the actual floors of ships, but it's everything's been patchworked together here until you make your way towards what appears to be, or may at one point or another have been a hydroponic and or grow facility for a habitation ship that has been crunched into the space, and then half that space has been taken over by people who want to live within it. You can see stuff grows in the space. It's a bit wetter, but there is that kind of stale smell of wet air, of regularly recycled but slightly re-oxygenated air. This place is doing a lot of heavy lifting in a space like this. It's a social space. It's also helping clean the air. It's also providing food. It's also where most of the water appears to be. And as you make your way through the plastic drapes and into the well-lit LED bright interior, you can see that there appears to be a smaller circular bar area that has been set up, and there's little plants growing on the sides. There's tubes with all kinds of different liquids moving within them, waters, different coloured stuff, and behind the bar with a kind of single scarred eye, a kind of slightly burnt sides to the face, like very 5 o'clock shadow, like very hairy, hirsute man in his mid-40s. He is wearing like a battered waistcoat, leather that doesn't quite do up, and just like some light cottons underneath that are a bit grimy and dirty. So you recognise this man. You know this man. This is Wenzel. Wenzel is the bartender here at Vultures. He's the boss.
Okay. I will walk in, have a look around. Do I draw attention? Do I have a brief...
Roll me an observation check.
Is that and it's all in the details, or...?
Yes. So you have the upper hand.
And will that be savvy?
Yeah.
Still 8. 6 and a 2.
That's a success. There's not many people in here at the moment, and you're pretty sure that there's no one in here that you don't want to see.
Okay. I will make my way forward to the bar with a real swagger, like I, like a returning champion, and kind of put my elbows up on the bar. Howdy, Wenzel. How you been?
Harry, well, that's a face I didn't expect to see. Who's your friends?
They are some acquaintances of mine that I've made in my retirement.
Oh yeah, I was sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, well, all good things have to come to an end, don't they? So Wenzel, this may be a bit of a turn. I'm looking around, no one immediately is right in front of me. If a gent was looking for some information, you seem like the right person to come to.
Well, I am, that's why. Who are you looking for?
Well, he's this guy.
You're looking for the traveller. Oh, I see. I see.
No, that one.
Yeah.
No,
I'm going to put like and slowly slide my kind of metallic like hand out in like a handshake and like Busty Jack. In for like do they grip? I grab them by like kind of the wrist and like pull, and I just like lean in and like I'm just looking for Ulysses the eye. I whisper into their ear as I'm like tightly gripping their wrist without like considering it.
He like grips back, holds you, and then like pulls. You just see, like anyone else watching, just see this like muscle on his arm, just pulls you in closer. And he's like, "Yeah, I know. Ulysses was a traveller, you see."
Yeah. Well, his good. We just need him now. Quick, please.
Roll me a muscle check.
I'm guessing this isn't like D&D where I could try and help.
I spend.
How would you give him the upper hand?
How would Harry give him the upper hand?
Best friends.
I can only think of ways in which I would actually hurt.
Then no.
Good, yeah. I'll not talk about the ways that would hurt the situation.
Just before exertion is just I re-roll if I spend exertion.
If you spend exertion, you take it off your blues, and you can re-roll a d6
For each.
for each exertion you spend. And if you've re-rolled it, you can't re-roll it again.
Okay.
So,
It's very pessimistic though, you never know.
Oh, that's a success. That's a 9.
your just iron grip just
Yeah.
holds.
And it's like just the smell of like iron on my body. Just like
It's like, I know where he is. I can get him. You want to meet him here, or you want to go to his? I don't mind. It's just
we want to meet him now.
You know. be nice.
Okay. I get it. I need that hand. I need that hand.
I'm going to not like release. I'm just gonna like drag my hand over it, so when I'm pulling off, I'm going like over it.
Old mean Jack there. He's a sweetheart. Don't mind him.
Yeah, where do you find this guy?
He was a
Found me nowhere.
let's go with that.
It's my polishing hand.
Polishing hand. You ain't polished a glass in 30 years, Wenzel.
I polish one glass. Same glass all the time. Okay. I get it. You're on a timeline. It's fine. Look, get yourself a booth. I'll send out a message. He'll be here. It's not like he's got much else to do. Wait a moment. And you can see that he disappears off. And you wait a moment. You take a drink, take in the ambience here, watch as people move in and out. Eventually, shuffling in, you see a guy in a long-ish trench coat, patched and tattered, and he has he just has that shifty, furtive look of someone who is not used to being around and about with other people. You watch as he clocks with Wenzel. Wenzel nods over to where you are, and you see as he turns to see you both, to you all, kind of slightly. You recognise the energy. It's the energy of a person who's used to doing bad things and getting caught. You see in them, or you recognise in them, a similar kind of energy, except this guy's not as confident as you guys are, not as used to throwing fists. And he shuffles over to where you are, and he looks over you. He's like, "You're looking for me."
Well, hello there, my timid friend. How can we help you, sir?
I don't know.
Better question is
how can I help you?
That is the better question, sir. Your skills. How good are you at your craft?
You came in on the Proud Mary, yeah? You guys need fuel.
Is he just? Does it look like he's remembering, or is he like actively doing something?
Roll an observation check.
Is that grit? Or is that?
Grit. Let's go grit on this one.
That's a 10.
A 10. You can see that whilst one of his eyes is sort of looking up over here, the other one is moving around. And you think he's got at least, if not a bionic eye, some kind of implants in. He's accessing computer information whilst he is talking to you. This is live data that he is pulling down from your ship that he should not have access to.
Just like press like my right against like his shoulder. Just like you don't need to demonstrate.
I will kind of somewhat try and gently, try and bring my hand up, not willing to have another grasping hand situation with someone who very much needs their hands to help us. I thank you very much, Valentine. I think this fine gentleman will not give us any trouble. Please take a seat.
Okay. Sits down. So, what is it you want or need from me?
Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
Do you think you can put it together why I'm here?
Look, look, they're just trying to pin the blame on me, that's all.
So we're looking to cut the head off the snake, so to speak. And something tells me that you have no love lost for our benevolent overlords, and I think we might be able to do some sort of quid pro quo. Perhaps you help us, give us some info, some access, and we can help get whoever they are off your back.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. But I want the data.
You want?
Whatever else, the data's important. If I get the data, then I'm the one who can put it out there. If I'm the one who puts it out there, that's my name. Everyone's gonna know, hey, it was Ulysses who found it out. It's Ulysses who got it out there.
All I care about is justice.
It'd be
Too right.
pretty good for you. Get all everything they knew about. So
Oh, yes, this sounds perfect, as long as you're not looking to twist anything.
No, just the truth. Just the truth. Hard-boiled.
So,
An audience likes their work pure, sir.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
with the free time you have on your hands right now, you should give it everything.
I don't have it. That's the problem.
Yeah, but you can get it.
why my police hackles go up? Why? This seems all a bit selfless, a bit noble.
Nothing selfless about it. I want the fame. You'd be the guy who blows the lid off the party, who shows the galaxy what's going on, what's really happening. I'll be tuning into Ulysses for the next 10 lunar cycles.
Tuning in, is there some sort of network or
Yeah,
limited run podcast?
The radio.
or-
That's what I'm.
Yeah. Well, it's all out on all the feeds.
Listen, if I'm just gonna like lean back, if he's in it for the fame, that's like quieter. It's probably still a little audible. It's like it's just in it for the fame. It's no harm to you, no harm to us. It means it's done quicker. You want your name out there now, don't you? You want it out quicker, faster. You want to be the quickest hand in the draw. You always gotta be.
Can I say something here?
Yeah.
Don't you think if you put this data out there, don't you think like the wrong people, they will find that and they will come after you and possibly kill you? Like, are you not scared of that at all?
Well, I mean, getting it's not going to be easy, so that's going to throw a few spanners in the work, and I know a few places to hang out,
And think
lie
about
low.
all those interested parties wanting your services.
Yeah, and besides, if I'm the one who's put it out there and then suddenly I drop off the radar, well, then everyone's going to know it's true then, aren't they?
True.
Okay then, what do we need to spell it out, or do you think you understand what I say when I say cut the head of the snake?
Well, I understand exactly what it is you mean by that. I'm just not sure that you do. Look, here's what I know. The Koryomi, they're not just a snake. They're more like a hydra. Like, you cut one head, then there's more. They're not just a gang. Hey, maybe in your world they were just a gang, but they got other stuff going on now. Like, they're in corporate.
The most evil.
Like, you haven't seen her. In fact, you probably don't even know her, but Montana, the daughter, like, she's high-powered, man. She's got fingers in pies you didn't even know existed. And she's got clout. And not just, like, muscle clout. I'm talking, like, corporate clout. Vincenti, he's another kettle of fish. Vincenti, he's just dumb, and he's the brute. He's the problem. And Caliban, I don't know. He's on the way out anyway. That's what's causing all these problems. You want to cut the head off it. You want to expose it. Then the person you gotta find, the person who's got the details, well, that's Cronell. You know Cronell, right?
Obviously.
Yeah, I figured. So, I've been poking around. I've been looking. I've been trying to find it. I knew someone somewhere wouldn't trust each other. There's the thing with these types. They're always keeping little notes, hiding things away, making sure that they're safe for a rainy day. Because you know what? Rainy days always coming when you're in this kind of game. You know who's got it? It's your buddy Cronell. He never quite trusted him. Never quite thought they wouldn't bump him off. He's got a stash. All the documents. All the stuff that he should have filed. He kept it.
Sounds just like him.
Yeah.
So you're saying we don't go for the Koryomis as much as we go for the weak link in the chain, so to speak.
Yeah. The weak link's got the info, and I don't know, like, I think if that info is out there, those dogs are gonna rip each other apart anyway.
Fair enough. That simplifies matters and complicates them as well. Cronell is he's my former boss. He's the chief of police.
I see.
Well, a storm's coming for him. The rainiest day of them all. It's about to probably hit. And for that Hydra, we've got fire on our hand.
Well, he is arguably the best protected man in,
Oh.
short of maybe the Koryomis themselves.
Well, I think you'll find you've got some. I'm gonna nod down to like your fists, and, like some pretty handy weaponry of your own. You've seen some craft with it. I can tell apart when
Harry-
weapons been used.
Harry has just very beaten and worn hands. You know, battered, bruised, covered in cuts and scrapes, but somewhat unremarkable. He has kind of short, stubby fingers, skin like that of a rhino's, but nothing particularly special. There's nothing special about these.
you won't.
It's the I don't know.
You know what? You've got resolve behind them.
Well,
Not many people can say that these days. You've got the real power you want to get this through. You can do it. I know you can do it from what you said. I've looked up your reports on the back file.
Look, I just need the data. You get the data to me, I can get it out there, we can make sure that people know about it. It's not a problem at all, but you gotta get me the data, man.
Isakov, Valentine, your view on the matter.
I believe. Oh, go ahead, my friend.
Right, I was just saying that.
Oh,
Thank you.
all right then. Yeah, I agree. I think if this data is out there to the public, they will tear them apart like dogs.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
And that I want to see.
I've seen it. And not just here, not just on Jupiter LF5, but, and not just the system, but like, I don't know. The Koryomis, they're pushing bigger. And they've come up against some obstacles, from what I can tell. Like out there in the galaxy, there's other people. You know, they're not the only sharks out there. And, well, sharks don't like sharing their ground. So, if we bring them down, other people will come in. This will happen. The people here, we can keep them safe. They know. They already know. Look at us. We know. We know what's going on. We need the rest of the universe, the rest of the galaxy to listen. The data I'm looking for, okay? From what I can tell, there are 2 places you might find it. Obviously, they keep it at the HQ. Jasper HQ, somewhere in there, somewhere in the center. They got a data center. It's got to be in there. But if I know Victor, and you may have noticed I know Victor, that won't be the only copy.
No. He was a diligent bookkeeper, as well as a monster.
So, the place to look, the place to check, he's got an office. His data security is too much for me. I can't get past it. I need a direct access, like a port. Get in, download it.
You want us to? Do you have USB? Something like I'm not.
I got a cable somewhere. Yeah, we'll plug a cable in, like SCART or something. It's got to be in his office, at his home.
That is a better proposition than the head of HQ, but
It's a more likely proposition, I'd say.
well, it's HQ. I'd say assaulting HQ would be certain death. So, I mean, anything's better than certain death, right?
Yeah, I'd say.
Well, me myself, I would rather die standing than live kneeling. However, I don't want to die today, so I agree.
Look at the half semi-suicidal one.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Right, so would I know where his home would be? This Cronell, my former boss. I'd imagine it would be a big house in Godhead Plaza. Would I know which one?
It's got to be like an office party held at his house every like.
I don't think I've got the invitation still. I think I left it in my other
Well, it's
trousers.
just like, you've got to oblige to like make sure you're keeping the image.
You've never been. You've never wanted to go. Roll me a grit. You can use exertion if you want to.
I will.
Mark off a heart.
Oh, okay, that's 11.
You remember that for a while, couple of years at least, he sent you a couple of invitations to parties that he was throwing. You never went. You never paid attention to them. But you're a cop. You remember the address. It's one of the penthouses. Not the top, but in that kind of tier. Getting into the plaza, that's not too difficult. It's going to require a little bit of talking or a bit of head first approach. You can make your way to, you think, where his apartment is. What you're going to find there, you don't know.
Okay. Well, I think there's no time like the present, gentlemen. I know where we need to be. Getting there is a different matter. Is there anything else you can do to help us?
Look, if I give you what I need you to have, I can show you how to use it. Make sure you plug it into the right place. What keys to do, I can give you all of that. If I can get back to my terminal, you give me a few minutes, I can probably clear a bit of a path. At least make sure that most of the goons are out of the way. Get you into the plaza, maybe even up to the floor. But beyond that, the tech's all jumbled up. It's all broken down, and I don't know, like either someone's encrypting it or it's just junk. Either way, I I can't see in that area, so I can get you to the door. Once you're at the door, well, that's up to you guys, I guess. I mean, you look like you can handle yourselves. And looks around, like clocks your cannon that you're carrying.
I'm just like staring through them. Not even, and it's not even like in a way where I'm like trying to like kind of lower them, but it's also like my mind's not completely there, and I'm just like absent-mindedly breaking them with my stare.
Yeah, his like eyes like just like move past you, like can't hold your gaze at all. They lock onto you, and he's just like, never thought I'd be working with a cop.
Well, maybe the last one.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Well, yeah. Look, give me a few minutes. I'll come back and get the stuff you need. Take a time. You're gonna do this now? Like now?
There's no time like the present, folks.
I think so.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and he like watches. He like sort of takes his leave, like nods to each of you, like nods to you, like looks at you, like just goes to ask, "Is he all right?" And he's like, "Yeah, no man," and scutters off, like a man on a mission. You wait a few minutes.
I'm just gonna cast my eyes then, like just look around the room. Is there anything different from when I?
Roll an observation check.
Is that savvy? Is it?
Yes.
That's good. So that's 12.
Cool. Doesn't look like there's been any change in here. Everyone just looks sad. Those who are in here. It looks like even though this place is pretty run down, people can't afford to be here.
My fingers are just like digging into the palm. Like, I can feel the metal like pressing up against it. It's like if you notice, I'm ever so slightly shaken around there.
Nice. He comes back a few minutes later, hands off what appears to be like a small, like a kind of like a little data center card, like a kind of terabyte hard drive type size thing. It's got like a cable plugged into it. That cable's got an adapter cable that's plugged into it. That cable's got an adapter cable plugged into it, and that cable's got an adapter cable plugged into it. It's like I don't know what it'll have. So I've given you everything that I can think of he might have. That's what it is. If I'll dash back to my terminal. You plug that into his computer. You get it going. You make the right thing. You get the stuff. It'll come straight to me. Well, unless the system breaks down, which it shouldn't, but it should come straight to me. Worst case scenario, bring that back to me if you can. But no, it won't break. It won't break. Not everything on this godforsaken place breaks. Look, you better get going. I'll make things move as quickly as I can, but surprise is going to be of the essence here.
One last thing, friend. I say as I'm standing up, assuming that everyone else is pretty much done. I will hold open my jacket somewhat and display what I hope is quite clear to a hacker as an EMP grenade. And then I will close my jacket again. If I were to have an accident with this this item, would it make the data irretrievable forever or temporarily?
I don't know. Maybe just, I don't know. Try not to have an accident.
Duly noted.
You're gonna tell me where you're gonna get that from one time, because that thing's crazy. Hey, good luck. Wow, didn't think this was gonna happen today.
Indeed. Right, give us what time you can.
Okay, but start moving.
Harry audibly groans. He's like, oh, I'm so unfit.
Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. You hit the road. You start moving through. You head to the plaza. You can see that it is, as mentioned, like super bulkheady and metally, quite clean, well looked after. Your pathway is surprisingly unintercepted. Wherever he is and whatever he's doing, Ulysses has obviously done something to keep people away from the paths that you're taking. And you know that there are surveillance cams and equipment that you see dotted around. That means that you think he's got eyes on you, at least this far. You make your way into this, and like in comparison to where you've been in the exhaust, this place is plush, like clean, sparkling. Someone cleans it. Someone comes in here and cleans this place regularly. There is a service elevator type thing, like someone has bothered to put in an elevator, which takes you up a few floors to where you think you remember, where you think you can ascertain is the location of Victor's apartment. And it's like long corridors, only a couple of doors. You can see that above is glass, and you can just see floating in the sky above your heads Jupiter Aleph, just taking up all that space. Corridors are glass. You assume that therefore so are in the interiors of the apartments that make up this floor. You can spot down the corridor, eyes alert. There are a couple of goons stood watch either side of the doorway.
Anyone else immediately apparent?
Roll observation.
Is that savvy or grit?
That's going to be grit for you.
And is this all in the details?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
It's observation.
I rolled a 1. Oh, and then I got a 2. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
That's a success. From what you can see here, there doesn't appear to be any other people in this corridor. There are a couple of surveillance cameras that you recognise, although hard to tell if they're working.
Right, well, friends, it appears that we are close to our objective. I would say that while it might be good to start with a somewhat sneaky approach, I think there is only one way this is ending. So, don't be too worried if we make a rucket.
Oh, I intend to, sir.
Okay, maybe not first, though.
As you wish,
Good,
my friend.
brilliant, yeah.
What the three of you know is that, with the exception of the person who has the pistol,
I have a 9mm.
you have a 9mm. The two of you, your weapons are best at a range.
Yeah.
So you've got a bit of flexibility. It's better at range, but if you end up in close combat, there's still a bit of option available to you. Where you are right now and what's going on, if you want to use your guns to solve these problems, the opportunities are going to be limited, but possible. You may be against the odds.
It's
Check
just
something.
it's just two goons, isn't it? Like in front of a.
From where you are right now, the two goons are within range. If you wanted to just shoot them,
That's not.
that's all you can see.
I'm just gonna like pull my off-white coat over my gun, some more, and just like you can button it up sort of around there, so that way it isn't visible immediately. You'd have to spend some time kind of looking at me.
Okay.
Just hide it.
Harry will put both of his hands deep into his jacket pockets, hunch his shoulders over, and shall I go and introduce us?
Just medal. Like, you're the one for the job, mate. and just like push you forward slowly, not deliberately.
You hit a very unfit fat man, and he really struggles to. I imagine most people see the knees go. All right, and he walks forward with his hands in his pocket, and he will go to approach these people. Do they look like police goons, or do they look like Koryomi goons?
They look like muscle. They might have been trained, but you couldn't tell where they've been trained. They look like They look like the anti-Harry.
Buff! No!
No!
No, they're not sweating! Speaking of that, I'm just gonna wipe the sweat I got just like on the inside of my coat.
This trail behind you, like a big slug. I walk up to these guards with my hands in my pockets. You're right, friends. I'm here to see a man about a dog.
You expecting anybody? No. Boss isn't expecting anybody.
You sure? I was sure I had an invitation here.
What's your name?
Oh, it's Raphael.
I'm gonna take a couple more steps, just like forward.
Raphael.
Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau.
You buying this?
I'm guessing these guys aren't just going to let me get close, so I'm trying to see if I can give them some kind of distraction so I can get a bit closer to them.
I'm stepping to just up behind them, just like slowly.
They have moved in to like block round the doorway, but they don't look like they're not in any way
intimidated by me. Good.
You. They see you stepping up, and there's like you watch as the one on the left like reaches down. It's like whoa there, Frit. What's all this about? What's all this?
Didn't you hear about the dog? Didn't you hear?
Oh, well, Raphael's dog? Yeah, we heard.
Am I increasingly more kind of out of their eye? Can I start to kind of sidle round and get a bit closer?
The only way round, or to where you're trying to hit the door...
I'm not trying to get to the door.
...is basically
I'm trying to get to the side of them.
Oh, yeah. You can step off round to the side. You can see that their eyes are much more focused on...
I'm gonna just like
Captain
tense.
Metal
My
here.
body's already quite tense, but I'm just gonna like bulk up the shoulders. Like, and I'm gonna like tap near they call me Red Eye. And I'm gonna like fart my boot, which you can hear like metal on the inside of it, and it's burn like. You're not gonna let Raph in here? He's had quite a rapport with boss.
What?
You don't want your names getting put down in dirt, don't you? 6 feet under. A message about not doing their job right.
Was that a threat?
No, but your boss is threatening you if you don't let this man in. I'm sorry if you can't do your job.
Roll me a savvy check. Let's see whether you can convince these guys.
Trying to... I'm hoping.
I'm gonna...
Use exertion?
Yeah. No, wait, I do get over. That's 5. Savvy, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, that just makes it with a...
An 8.
No, actually, no, hold on. It's 5 or so. No, I have to reroll.
It's got to be 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that works much better. Yeah, that's above 8. So that's a blues.
Yep, for you. They look at you and they're like, no, go in there and find out. I'll hold these guys off. Find out what the Raphael and what's your name again? Red Eye.
Yeah, the quick trigger.
Find out if the boss knows anything about Raphael or Red Eye, the quick trigger. And the other one's kind of like, turns. You see like number pad, types in, and it's like, Doors open.
The door opens.
Yeah.
As the man disappears, Harry will bring his hands out of his pockets, and he has 2 well-used and worn knuckle dusters, and he will not do any one-liners because he is not cool and he is not witty, and he will just that went well. And he will try. And he would just drive his fist into the side of this guy's head if this guy is not immediately staring at the awkward man.
Roll and attack.
Which is
So it's 3d6. You're aiming to hit an 8 to get success, I believe.
Yep.
Let me double check that. And you can pick. You're going to be using your muscle, and you can pick which of the 2 dice from the 3 you use.
Okay.
The one you don't pick, that's going to be how much damage you deal.
okay.
These guys do not have any armor on, so it's just an 8.
Cool. My brass knuckles are improvised, and they have a stun quality.
Indeed.
Will that come into play after I potentially hit it?
If you
Cool.
hit, yeah.
Good.
Oh.
You can use exertion to re-roll one.
What is it? Muscle.
May I go to
Oh,
You do make
actually,
it. You'd make it.
6, 7, 8. I can hit. I rolled 2 1s. Now I have a 1 as well.
Do you want to just like tap it?
Let's just exert. I'm going to exert and re-roll the 1.
1. Do you get 1 again?
1.
2.
2. 2. Let me check. Yeah, sweet. You catch this guy as he's turning to look in and just clock him in the side of the temple. You've been hit in the faces before, you know where to hit, right in the temple. There's this he reacts, you hear a crack in his neck as you catch him unawares, and then you can just see his head slightly turns back towards you, and he is punch drunk from that, and you can see he's going to reach for some kind of weapon, but looks way disoriented.
He's stunned, kind of. Like.
Oh yeah, very dazed.
I'm just gonna raise my knee and pull his head down.
Nice.
Roll. My
Same for you. Roll 3d6.
Plus muscle.
Yeah.
Well, that beats 8, and I do 6 points of damage.
6 damage. As he's really, you just grab either side of his head, bring the knee up, bring the head
there's
down.
There's a metal plate on the knee, so
there is a sickening thud. You hear his jaw crack, and he just slides off your knee into a pile on the floor. As he does so, his colleague, who has just made it through the door hasn't even back behind as the 2 of you do that. It's Tessa's "Hey Busters, what the hell?" And just turns back round as this guy falls. The doorway ahead of you is basically clear, apart from the guy whose back is towards you. Beyond, you can see a plush apartment, sunken seating area, lights above. You can see sat on a sofa in the center, in a dipped well. Arm around somebody is this guy. You recognize the back of this guy's head. Older, a bit balder, a bit chunkier than the last you saw him. But this is Victor. He's turning back and he's "What have I said about what the?" The room ahead, the way in, is open to you. And what are you going to do?
Put my hand on the door to stop it from closing. And I think any pretense of stealth has stopped.
I'm gonna put my boot through the door, and step in.
Right, lads, let's get to work, shall we? And I will step in after Valentine, and then I'll leave my hand
Jack.
on the door.
I'm Rusty Jack, Red Eye Jack, any of the Jacks.
Yeah, you've got too many names. We'll figure this out later. And I'll hold my hand on the door behind me as I'm waiting for the other 2 to get through.
Cool. You running in? Yeah. Joining? Roll initiative. D6. Just a D6.
I have fast hands, so I can roll too.
Great.
You said roll
Roll
initiative.
initiative.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know if there was something that I don't know because I was fighting already.
And that's my
Is high
savvy.
good or bad?
That's good.
That's it.
I've got an 8 because I can add my savvy to it.
You can.
Can I add something to mine or?
Maybe, but I can't remember.
Oh, is it an ability?
No,
Okay.
I've got no time
I've
to
got
check,
gamma.
so I'm going to
Fine.
crack on.
That's why.
We'll go with an 8, a 6,
I've got a 2.
a 2,
5.
a 5. Valentine's gonna act last in this circumstance. So we're into the room. You're acting first. You like kick your foot out. The door gets a bit dented between you and Victor Cronell. In the room is this one goon who is turning back, and you can see now, even in this close quarters, it looks like he's reaching down to grab a stun pistol.
I'm just gonna. We want Victor dead.
If it can't be helped, dead
Pity
or
what
alive,
happens.
I'd prefer alive.
Pity what
Prefer
happens.
dead.
So, because this goon's close, would it make it then harder for my gun?
Oh yeah, you're going to be against the odds on a shot against this guy.
Just gonna step closer and just like stand just in front of him, doing like nothing for a moment, and then just walloping my faceplate into his skull.
Cool. Roll an attack. Just straight attack, so 3d6 with your muscle.
That hits, and that is 5 points of damage.
5 points of damage.
It's like I just like we're standing there doing nothing, and then just wallop my face into
You
it.
step in and you meet him right on the bridge of his nose as he's like a bit leaning forward slightly to grab from the holster, and just crack straight down, catch that metal helmet on the top of his bridge of his nose, and he just watches as he goes crunches to the ground. He is out of action. You have had your go. What are you doing?
So there's this big plush apartment. Is there like doorways and rooms up around us, or is it?
Roll me an observation check. Savvy. No, grit. Grit, because this is your job.
Oh wait, yeah. That's 13.
13, yeah.
Definitely. You immediately like step in, sweep the whole thing. There's a doorway off to the side. Looks like it leads to a bedroom. There's a doorway off beside that. Hard to tell where that leads, but it looks like it's darker in that corner. There's another doorway off to the side over there. Looks like it leads to some kind of food area, and there is a closed and locked door to the right hand side.
Those won't be the only two. Let's see if we can finish this quickly, and I will do a power waddle because I don't think Harry can run. And I'm going to try and leap over the sofa and just punch Cronell in the soft part of his nose.
As you run forward to make the gap with these guys, with him, as he's like turning to look over it, you see as he like looks up into his face, he's like, "Harry,
My God, Lee. What's a personal invitation?
what are you doing? What?" And then you crack. Roll to hit.
That's not going to be good.
No, there's.
With muscle, isn't it?
Yep.
You could. No, you.
Can I keep burning heart? I don't want to keep burning heart though. I've done it.
You can.
You could just.
Depends how into this fight you are.
Exactly.
We don't need him dead necessarily.
Well, I'd rather just not. I've leapt over the sofa.
Yeah.
At this point,
No,
yeah.
that's-
Okay. Well, let's for the moment. Let's. Yeah, I miss. I'm
Harry
hoping.
wants to get out of this.
Wait. Yeah.
Yeah? Harry wants to get out of this situation.
Well, rolling. Go on then.
No, that was a question.
Get out of this. He wants to. I assume that's just a miss. He goes to punch him and just misses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He like swings back as you go to swing at him and punch, and he leans back. He's like, "Whoa, what are you doing here? Why are you in my? Who the hell are these guys? Get out of my apartment! Who let you in? I'm gonna call the." And he starts to like dash away from you to move obviously move towards somewhere to get help and safety as he moves away from you.
Okay.
Isakov.
Hi. He's ran away now, hasn't he?
He's like moving out of the way, out into another room, heading towards a different doorway. Looks
Okay,
like he's heading
so-
towards a panel on the wall where he can like call people from.
Can I was going to use my marksman thing, but I can't, don't think, anyway, because it's going to take a turn.
What does it do? Like you gain action, gain advantage.
With enough time, you can make one shot count. You can take a turn to line up a shot, examining a target and its movements.
You didn't do anything before this.
No.
You've been quiet. You've been observing. I'm going to give that to you for free.
Oh. Hey.
It's not like you've been heavily involved in all of the discussion up to this point. It's like you've just been waiting, biding your time for that moment. Wait, it's good. So yeah, you got your marksman. You would be rolling this normally against the odds, but because of your marksman, you're going to get
Upper hand.
which means it's just going to be a straight roll, like advantage and disadvantage. They're going to cancel each other out.
So
you're gonna
is it
roll
3 dice?
3d6.
Oh, 5, 5, and 5.
Wow. So that is definitely going to hit, and you are going to do 5 points of damage. What are you shooting?
His hand, the one that switches to the panel.
Like his hand's reaching out to press the button to call it. He's
I've
like,
become McCree from Overwatch.
you watch as this just like red mist. What the hell? Turns around like, who are you guys? What are you? No, okay, whatever you want. The safe's in the office. What do you want, Harry?
Are we still in like combat order, or is this kind of like a break in the?
There's a break in
Okay.
combat.
I'd like to kind of walk up and grab him, but he says he's shirtless. I get a fistful of his chest hair.
Who's the other person in the room?
A girl. He was cuddling. I'm guessing she.
They've just like moved away, like backed away, like grabbed cushions. They're just like try to hide away of what's going on in the space. Like very much like this is not my dog, not my fight. Like slinking down, hiding away.
Yeah, I grab a fistful of. I go to like grab his thing, but then I've committed at this point. I can't like. It's like when you go for a handshake, you can't just put it back. And so I'm like, oh God, and I just grab a fistful of his chest hair. I'm like, I want those documents. I want those. Cannellini.
Koryomi.
Thank you very much. I want them to burn, and you've got those documents. I know you do.
Okay. Look, what you're looking for is there's a data bank in the safe. If you wanted the code, you know the code. You know the code, man. It's like you gotta know the code.
It's just 1, 2, 3, 4.
It seems like this guy's trying to impress upon me something that I should know, but Harry seems to be drawing a blank.
Roll a savvy check.
Oh, that's probably not gonna work.
I'm just like stepping on the body I just knocked down, stepping on it. I'm just going to like
happy I
walk
did
up behind them.
Very cool. Yeah.
Just no regard for anything.
That's not quite enough, unless I think this is quite important, so I'm going to burn. Oh. Harry is very out of shape. That passes 10.
10. There's one. If there's a code, it's got to be a number.
Yeah.
And if it's a number and he thinks you're going to know it, it's got to be something that's important to both of you. And the last time that there was something that was important to both of you was when you graduated and joined the police force.
Did say it that day.
So it's a date?
It's a date.
Harry is very much taken off guard by what seems to be a very personal display of affection by this boss of his. Of all the recruits, it's quite personal that he would put this. Now why ever would you put a number like that day in May as your safe code?
Yeah, like that was when it was all good, man. That was like we were there together, like, and the two of us, we made it through, and we got to where we were gonna be, and then we had that choice. We had the choice, guys. We had the, and, you know, they offered it to you and you didn't want it, man. You said no, I'm too good for that. And it's just so it's just maybe I'm just being sentimental, but just maybe that was when it was all simple, man. It's just like just take. I'm losing a lot of blood here.
Yeah, you are. I'm just gonna grip my metal hand round it. Like, there we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Okay. Look, whatever. Just take it. Leave me alive. Or take me with you. Or whatever it is you want to do. I don't just. I gotta get out of this, man. I gotta get out of this.
You gotta get into a hospital. That's what you're meant to get into.
Buddy,
Gonna
my
release.
friend, why do you have to get out of this?
It's
Give me one good reason I shouldn't blow your head off right now, boy!
The infant's stumbling at his words.
Oh, they'll find you. That's why. They'll find you.
Do you not? What do you think? It's all. Yeah, of course they will. Of course they will. But you think there was a way out of this? Of course I know they'll find us. As long as you're burning, we're done.
Ari, you know what? Do you know the code? You know what you need to know?
I know the code. This old sap sold his soul 15 years ago, but kept some part of it behind. Are you trying to ask a question, or...?
No,
I'm gonna grab that hand.
his normal
Yeah,
hand.
his normal hand. I'm just gonna lower it just slightly. Just like.
Look, you know everything you need to know. You've obviously got something that you want done. Just get it. Look, if you're gonna do it, dude, fucking do it.
Can I step up close to Cronell, and I take and I release my hand of his greasy chest hair, and unfortunate amounts of it I imagine come away, and I put my hands on his shoulders. You were a good partner, Cronell. It's a shame what you became. And then I will drive my head into his nose.
Roll with the upper hand because he's being grabbed, threatened, bleeding. Like, so you're gonna roll 4d6.
Yep, I only have 3d6 though, so I'll re-roll the low one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably enough. It's muscle, right?
Yep.
You could do
5, 6, 7, 8, and then 5 damage.
5 damage. Did I give him health? I did. You watch as it cracks into his skull, like blood pours out.
How much damage did shooting his hand
5.
off do?
You roll. How much? You did 5 damage to
Yes.
him. Oh, he is a beaten and bloodied mess, but he is holding on by a single thread. to the
Is he
situation.
still conscious?
Barely. He is this close to knocking on heaven's door.
Okay.
I'm just gonna put a hand, like, just leave it to a kid who wants it. Just like turn him to Valentine. Like so one hand's on his wrist, and then the other hand I'm just gonna like not gently place it around his kind of neck.
Like blood pouring out of his nose, bloodshot eyes, just looks to you in absolute panic, as if like you're the person who is going to save him in this situation.
I'm gonna just put my mouth as well to his ear. It's like, we're gonna put some lead in your head, kid.
I don't think that's such a good idea.
Well,
As much as this worm deserves more, I think if he is dead, it will make the story more difficult.
But it will prove a point, won't it?
no.
Well, the point we're trying to prove is that this is a horrible, corrupt system, and if they have some figurehead to rally against, maybe that's more useful than just a pile of corpses.
Shoot. I'm then just gonna with my hand, I'm just gonna then slap him like on the temple, just to knock
get
him
him to
unconscious,
nap.
not to kill him.
Roll an attack.
Does 5 damage kills him with a slap?
1 damage.
Perfect. He had 1 health. Had 11 heart.
Yeah.
You just knock him round the temple, and there's a slump, and you feel the weight of his body as your hand around his wrist.
I'm still just like holding it. So that way.
Yeah, and it's just like holding him as like his limp body kind of hangs from your arm. It's quiet in this space. You can get in. You can grab anything you want. You've got your mark. You've got the stuff. You've got your data. Seems like job's done.
I'm gonna go to the safe.
Yeah.
There's a person on the counter just like, don't worry.
They're just like, oh, yeah. I'm not here. I didn't see anything. I didn't say. I won't say a word.
I make my way to the safe and put in the graduation of myself from the academy of the Jasper Academy. Does it open?
Opens up. Inside you see credits. Small pile of credits. You see your police badge and gun that have been taken off you, and you see what appears to be a handful of like data banks, all in the safe.
Well, that's interesting. I will take my service revolver and open the chamber. Is it loaded? Empty. Cool. I will take the hip flask, which I keep in my gun holster, which still remains, and put that in a jacket pocket. Put my service revolver back in, and reattach the badge to my hip. Before taking the data banks. I'm guessing it's an armful rather than just like something I can fit in a pocket.
Probably a pile of about 6 or 7.
Okay. If we divvy them out between the people, I'd say that we could potentially do it without someone having to like.
Yeah, enough to put certain like less like a backpack's full if someone's got a backpack or some stuff that can go into jacket.
I left the Jansport at home, so I've only got pockets. And I do that.
Do you leave the money?
I don't need it.
Cool. You close the safe up. What are you doing with Victor?
I'm still holding the body.
We should tie him up against the wall.
What are you doing with Victor then?
I have an idea.
What are you doing with him, my friend?
Can you describe the room we're in, just like again? Just like,
It's mostly like this appears to be like a large sitting room. There is like a kind of dipped well, which has like a sofa, like a semicircular sofa that was kind of leaned back, so you can look out up into the sky above. Looks like there's like some like vid screens off to the side. It's kind of plush. There's not a huge amount of furniture. What you do see is that it's fairly undecorated. Like there's a kind of sadness to this space. It looks like it's kind of just a functional place for him.
Just gonna drag the body like along the floor, the blood painting a new shade over what kind of a grey or white, I imagine. And then when I get up to the couch, I'm just gonna like with the one arm throw it onto the couch, on the other side of the person on the couch, so they're not next to it, and so they're just like lying there, like bloodied, beaten on it, like.
Nice. Victor Cornell, unconscious. Who knows what will happen to him? You have what you came for. You have what you need. Sounds like job's done.
I will tear a strip of fabric off a curtain, and I will tourniquet his wrist.
Nice. So, Proud Mary. Anything else you need to do here?
Deliver the fire.
We need to get these to Ulysses.
Yeah.
Do we need to do it physically, or can we upload them from the Proud Mary?
Oh,
We put
you
it in like a Dropbox or something.
probably do that from your ship. Yeah. He's given you some cables that allowed you to do that, made you think this could possible. You beat a retreat. You stayed too long here. Things are going dangerous. You make your way back to the ship. You take some time, upload the files that Ulysses wants. There's a few other things in there, perhaps some things that you don't want to be... Like, you spend a little bit of time making sure that the right information gets out, not necessarily all the information gets out. You want people to still be able to trust some form of authority here. You pay. What do you pay them for their support and time?
Them, as in my crewmates.
As in these 3 reprobates that you pulled in.
I pay them everything I have, everything remaining that I have, which was the entirety of my police severance pension.
Each of you can mark off your debt. And between the 3 of you, as a ship, you've gained a credit.
Presume I've lost
You
2.
lose your 2 credits, but you don't have any debts.
I didn't have anyway, but...
Yeah. Unless anyone has anything they would like to do to finish out or close out, we will pause. Valentine.
You said everything you own. That is yourself, my friend. I think you have what it takes to join the Proud Mary and make the unholy trinity of our dear Maiden Mary into a 4-man job, my friend.
Oh, I don't know. I was planning on dying.
That would be unfortunate, my friend.
Well, I mean, I didn't really see much of an opportunity out of this other than body bag. Poor one. So I honestly haven't given it much thought.
The offer is here.
He has a swig of his Wild Pines Reserve fancy brandy. It tastes very much like cheap brandy. I think I'll take you up on that offer. I think we're a strong team. Let's go kick some ass.
That is great news, my friend. It brings a tear to my eye.
Proud Mary, now with a new colleague. Someone's going to bring a little new skill to your set. Leaves behind the system of Jupiter Aleph 5. Something you've been wanting to do for a while. And you head off. There will be more adventures. There will be more bills to pay. There will be more people who need your kind of support, your kind of help. But for now, these have been your Orbital Blues. Thank you so much. That's our first one done and dusted for this evening. Thank you for joining us thus far. Hope you enjoyed this crazy weird setting that we pulled together. Orbital Blues is by Soul Muppet Publishing and is available on their website now. I really highly recommend it. It is, as well as being a really cool and fun setting, a very beautiful book with all kinds of cool artwork and very much like gets you into the theme of the world that they are building. We're going to take a short break and then we're going to be back. Already we're behind schedule because of course we are, but we're going to be back very soon and we'll be jumping into our next game for this evening, which is going to be Alien, the RPG. But for now, that's it.
I think
so
there's
much to
one
these
more
guys.
thing I have to say, which is see you later, Space Cowboy.
See you later, Space Cowboy. Thank you so much. We're going to go to break. We'll see you all soon.